Hello, I'm Matt and welcome to Badger Workshop. So today I want to do a really simple project. A fly swat made out of some leather and some ash, and I'm mostly just going to use hand tools. I've got this bit of ash online. It's 25 by 25 mil and it's a metre long. I definitely don't need it that long, so I'm going to get it cut down. So I get the bench hook, put into the vise and get it cut to length. I want the end to taper in a bit, so I set the gauge on this little ruler, link to it and all the other tools I use down below on the tools I use page, and then I can follow the mark all the way round. So I mark out a rough curve, and then I'm going to use a spoke shave. I've got two different ones, one flat and one curved sole for this. I'm going to use the curved sole one at first to get that tighter curve transition, and then I can swap over to the flat soled one to do the rest of the shaping. This is the first time I've used spoke shaves, and it's a really satisfying process, and it's nice to make shavings rather than dust. When I was happy with the shape, I moved over to the block plane and did some final smoothing. So really that was just a lot of work to make a squarish bit of wood a bit more round. But I like how uneven and rustic it is. Definitely not something that's been made by a machine. I want to add like a little chamfer to the top, so I'm just going to use my Moore paring knife just to take off the edges. Later on, I want a way to hang this up, so I'm just going to add a hole now. I mark out where I want it to go, and then I can use my plant stand, pillar drill, to drill it out. So first I drill just a little 4mm hole. Then I'm going to use one of these little countersinking bits to clean up both sides of the hole. I hate sanding, and I was trying to avoid it, but it just needs a little going over with some 120 grit. So for the fly swat portion, I've got some 3mm thick veg tan leather I'm just going to cut down. Now, people always ask me where I get my leather from, and I actually buy some big sides at a time, which is very expensive. But if you want small bits, searching on eBay is always good. I'm just going to nip the corners off to make the shape a bit more interesting, and I'm using the lines on the cutting mat to align everything, and that's really useful. Now, I want some holes in this, so I'm just going to mark them out on the back using a biro. And then I can use a punch, and I've got this block of wood that I'm just going to set up on the floor, put the punch on and knock out all these holes. I've left this little flat spot in the middle, and that's so I can add my maker's mark. So I'm just going to dampen down the leather and then punch it with the nylon punch, so the flies will know who's swatting them. Now this is not really necessary, but I like to finish the edges of my leather. So I'm just using an edge beveler to go round, and then I'm going to dampen the edges and burnish them just with a little hand burnisher, and it just makes it all a little nicer. So now these two parts need to go together, and I want to make a little slot for the leather to go in. So I mark it out and then use a pull saw to cut a slot, which I don't do a terribly good job of, but we can sort that out with a coping saw. A bit more for sanding just to refine the slot, and then the leather fits in with a nice tight fit. To lock it in place, I'm going to use some screws, so I mark out a couple of positions and get those holes drilled. Then I can get some PVA wood glue into the slot, because this also works well on leather, and get that spread out a bit. Then the leather can be gently eased into place. A couple of brass screws just secure it there. To finish it, I'm just going to use some mineral oil. And I'm not sure if this is the first time I've ever done it, but I can't remember doing it before. And that's using the same finish on wood and leather. So I just rub it onto both pieces. The last job is just to tie a little lanyard through that hole I drilled earlier. I've got a bit of leather, so I cut that to length, thread it through and get it knotted, and now it can be hung up. And that's it all done. I think it's been a fun project, and it's a nice looking thing if I do say so myself, and no fly will be safe in my presence now. So that's it all done. Simple little thing. I think it looks quite cool. It was fun using the hand tools. I did cheat a little and use the drill press. I think it'd be good in the summer to swat some flies with, or some of you might be able to think of some other uses. I'm sure it's practical for a few things. So thanks for watching. Thanks to my patrons, and please subscribe for more videos.